Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is The Bench, a one-of-a-kind program in ummah.co.ke where we're going to be discussing the trending topics as the Muslim Ummah. How should we perceive it? How should we perceive it? And to begin us off, it is this topic which has been trending, my dress, my choice. We're going to discuss it. Was it really right? Was the Taus really right to do that? And joining me today in the panel list is Madam Riziki Ahmed, who is a psychologist. Next to her is Asha, Sister Asha Bahati, and Karagane Mamlole, who's also part of the Ummah team. And we're gonna discuss this whole issue of my dress, my choice. Now, beginning us off, what do you think about the act? Were they really right? Was it really right to strip off that lady in the street? Madam Riziki.
I don't believe that they were right to strip the lady, because I feel if they were offended by her dress, they should have maybe covered her if they felt she was not well dressed. Because undressing a woman, I think, is actually totally wrong, because that is somebody's mother, could be somebody's sister. And look at it from the perspective of, this could have been your mother, this could have been your sister, this could have been your auntie. Would you have wanted her stripped naked, no matter what she was dressed in? And I feel if you're really offended, then cover the person.
Oh, brilliant. Sister Asha, what do you think about it? The whole act of undressing that sister?
Okay, I don't support it. I think it's not right. But on the other hand, women should not be walking naked on the streets of Nairobi or any other place. They should be covered. So I think that was... they were supposed to, okay, stripping her naked was kind of as a measure, a lesson to the other women who walks naked, because we are supposed to cover ourselves. Our body is precious, you know, and to avoid those attractions from the opposite sex, we are supposed to be modest and respect ourselves.
So the lady caused it herself, like she's the main cause of that problem.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to insinuate.
Yes, because if she had worn properly, no one would have approached her or stripped her of her clothes, right? So we're supposed to conduct ourselves in a proper manner. We're supposed to dress nicely, okay?
Brilliant.
You know, that lady wanted, okay, according to my belief, she wanted some attention from the guys and she got it, but in a bad way. So she deserved it.
Karagani, what do you think, bro?
I think, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with Madam Riziki that, yes, we don't agree with her dressing as Muslims, and I'm sure those touts didn't agree with her dressing either. But the way to go about solving the issue is not to strip her naked. I think she should have, if you want to get your point across, talk to her, cover her up. Don't remove her clothes in a violent manner. Again, it shows where society has reached, that the first thing we're going to is violence. And not only violence, but an action that is the opposite of what you're trying to achieve. Fine, you've humiliated her, but don't remove her clothing. That's one of the worst things you can do to a human being. So I mean, those are my views, and I think that's what generally people do agree. The reaction was wrong. She may have been on the wrong. Maybe she should have dressed better. She should have been aware of her surroundings and of how they would have reacted. But the reaction itself, I think, was way overboard. Okay,
so two wrongs does not make a right. That's what you're trying to say. The reason as to why the touts did that was because they wanted to show a lesson, not only to her, but to everybody in a way. And we have seen this reaction acting in both ways. First, like, it has a lesson which some other people, because we have heard of other such incidents, like 3 of them after that one in town, and as well the following Monday, that was 3 days after, ladies went out to the streets. So to a certain extent, can we say that it worked, the stripping?
Okay, personally, I don't think it worked, because we saw women going to town, like women who maybe are feeling like they're the professionals and our young impressionable girls are looking up to, and they decided that they were going to actually maybe wear even a hem higher than maybe what is expected in the norm. So what was the message being passed around was that it's my dress, my choice. So what we actually did, I think we publicized that issue that you can dress however you want because it's your choice. And this got aired all over. So was this message what we wanted to pass out, or were the touts out to get such a message out? Because now what came out is that it is just my dress, my choice, and I'll wear as short as I want, and you have no right to do anything about it. So for me, I feel that even this stripping in Kayole and other places that now started happening, when you look at the people doing the stripping, are they the regular people like our everyday person going to work, minding their own business? Or are these people who are just hangabouts? People maybe who are having a boring morning and then they see a lady passing and say, oh, why don't you make our day from this? So is their like objective actually to bring in modesty, or is it just to have fun by looking at a naked woman?
At the same time, we saw another group of demonstrators again demonstrating that the act was right, and it has also taken place in some other places. And listening to media stations, and it's going everywhere, like other people are planning to do the same. So,
okay, we saw the men saying that these women should not show their nudity to them. Now the thing is, we now go back to what dictates what I dress in. Now, I kept asking, in the Islamic faith, we know that the Quran actually dictates what we wear, how we eat, how we marry, how we do everything. Now, the other faiths, do they have a dictate of how they should dress? And if they have, are they following that? Because I think what they need to go back is to, if I'm Christian, what does the Bible say about my dress code? And am I following that? If I'm an African or maybe a cultural person, what does my culture say about how I should dress? Should I walk around like this or like that? I had arguments where they were saying in Turkana women walk bare-breasted and stuff like that. But I always tend to say, when the colonialists came to Kenya, they found people who were naked and they said we were not civilized. So people are being taught how to dress to get civilized. So I'm wondering, is this civilization going down by us starting to dress?
Undress.
Yes, undress. So are we becoming less civilized by now starting to walk naked after we were told dress up? Now we are being told undress.
but actually it's coming from the same Western countries.
So that's what I'm saying. We need to sit down as Africans and ask ourselves, can we come up with our values and stop aping? Because now they tell us dress. Next time they're telling me undress. So we sort of get lost. That's what I'm saying. We need to go back to, is it your Christianity? Is it your Islamic faith? Is it your culture? And decide this is what it dictates I should dress, not ape. Because I think aping keeps changing. Civilization is dressing, now civilization is undressing. I don't totally agree with my dress, my choice, because I feel when people are going for interviews, they don't have that time. They dress appropriately.
Truly.
So why don't they go there dressed maybe with their very short dresses and their cleavage and stuff? But they always tell you, for an interview you have to dress appropriately. So if you are dressing appropriately for this interview, that tells you that there is no my dress, my choice.
Wonderful.
There is something that will dictate what you are wearing.
In fact, I think I'm inclined to agree with that. Just yesterday I heard one of the news clips. They showed a man complaining that why are these ladies dressing the way they dress in the bedrooms, on the streets. I think the idea of everywhere has its appropriate dress is a very, very important one, in the sense that at home you're free to dress how you want. You go to work, there's a certain dress code. School, there's a certain dress code. Places of worship, at least for Muslims, certain dress code. There's the places to dress. You're going to play football or soccer, there's a dress code.
Yeah, you're going to go to a suit. Yeah.
Exactly. There's everywhere has its appropriate dress, and I think to take something that's offensive to the public and forcefully wear it out on the streets is probably not the correct decision. That said, haven't ladies always been wearing short dresses? Why is it there's sudden reaction from the men? I found that a bit surprising as well.
Asha, what do you think about it? Who dictates the dress? What do you think about the dress code in general perspective?
Okay, me, personally, I think someone's dress should cover their body. I'm a Muslim, so just the way it has been said in the Quran. That's what I would say here. So the dress must cover the body. Unaona, alafu it must be a little not tight fitting. And the reason why the men abruptly came up and started, overreacting, reacting that way, it's because they are tired of seeing these naked ladies on the street. And they decided enough was enough. Now we are going to take action by our own hands. Because I believe they have been told, trust me, these ladies, they have been told to be, dressed nicely and things of that sort, but they have refused. They said, if I dress, I cover myself up like you guys. There's a friend of mine who told me that if I cover myself up, who will notice me? I don't want to be a nun like you guys. You guys, you don't have a life. Yeah. That's what she told me. So someone like that won't listen to you, because they believe by dressing the way they dress is
they get noticed. They get that what do you call the cameras,
Yeah.
The cameras are after them. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the last. Okay.
I actually don't agree, Kabisa, that these men are tired to the brim. Because these same men are the ones who will buy those music videos where you're having these women who are half dressed. And the more naked you are, the more it sells. So are they tired to the brim when they want to? I don't actually think so. I think these people wanted just to do something. Maybe they were a bit bored, or this lady, maybe when they told her you're not well dressed, maybe rubbed their ego the wrong way. So maybe it was just an ego trip.
Wow. Nah, Kara, you have something to say? I'm sure.
I have too much to say, unfortunately. But basically, just on hijab, we have our forms of dress. Mm-hmm. We have two examples of sisters actually dressed for the ladies. It's loose-fitting clothing, shouldn't reveal a figure, and that's basically it. And the hijab is more than just it's a veil over your entire character, your entire behavior. There should be modesty in everything. No pride in your speaking. Your actual interaction with opposite gender, or even with your own gender, should be polite, should be honest. It encompasses everything. So I think if the lady had hijab, both the physical and the metaphorical, so to speak, hijab, and the men as well, if they conducting themselves with hijab, to put that in quotes, then we wouldn't even have this situation.
Brilliant, and that moves us to the third part of our discussion, the hijab, the importance of the hijab. Madam Riziki, what do you think?
I think the hijab is a very important aspect, because one, it dignifies you as a person. Because when you look at me and interact with me, you're not interacting with me looking at maybe the beauty in this person. You will be interacting with me from what am I coming up with and stuff like that. So I think the hijab dignifies a woman, and the Islamic hijab is very important because one, it makes sure that somebody cannot live there and go and describe you. They have no idea of what you are and who you are. And I always tell people that if you ever wear a niqab and you walk in the street, there's this sense of freedom you have. You are able to observe things and even observe people without them being able to even know what you're thinking, what you're seeing. There's a sort of a freedom in it. So for me, hijab is, as he said, something that encompasses not just the dress, the dignity, your manner of speech, the places you'll even be stepping in. Because if I'm in a hijab and I'm stepping into a bar, that is not hijab for me. If I'm in a hijab and I'm using swear words, that is not hijab. Because hijab should now be, it's outer, but should reflect also into the inner you. And then now the inner you should shine out from this hijab so that we see, wow, this is Islam. Anytime you're walking, people will take Islam from you. This is now Islam. So anytime you're in hijab, I always say you should always remember that you are wearing an Islamic uniform, just like the army guys, like they're in the army uniform, like they will make sure they are not seen to do anything that is untoward. Same thing as a Muslim woman. So the minute I wear my hijab, I should mind my speech, I should mind where I'm going, how I interact with people on the street. You can't be here and you're shouting at somebody across the street and wearing hijab. So it has to be something that is totally encompassing. And I believe that other religions also have how do I call it? A regulation in their holy books. So if I'm professing I'm Christian, what does my holy book say about my dress code? And am I following it? Because we Muslims are trying our level best to stick by that. So I think they need to go back and look at their books and see what do their books say, and are they really professing what their books are saying.
MashaAllah, brilliant. Asha, you are in a full hijab. Why are you doing it?
Okay, I'm doing it because I love dressing this way. This is how I feel at peace, and you know, I feel myself. In short, I feel respected. I feel good when I'm in my hijab. Because I'm a Muslim, and being a Muslim, you should adhere to the teachings of Islam. Okay, what God has allowed you and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you follow, and what they have prohibited, you keep away from them. So as a Muslim, I feel so happy by adhering to the hijab. By doing this, by wearing this, no one will abuse me on the road, no one will reproach me, no one will refer to me in a, you know, offensive manner, a negative manner. I just feel cool in a hijab. That's why, as Muslims, our ladies, please, we should be observing this hijab. The hijab doesn't mean you cover everything, you know. Just dress properly. Full length dress, long sleeved with a scarf, something decent, not tight fitting, not bright, as you all know the rules of hijab, and will be respected and will live peacefully.
MashaAllah, brilliant. Madam Riziki, some people argue that they say Muslim women, they're kind of putting on some moving tents, they see it being too much and being too heavy. What do you have to say about that?
Are you oppressed?
Okay, there's always been that idea that Muslim women dress like that because their husbands are saying it. And I think the West, or I don't know what to call it, have been trying to push the agenda in that Muslim women are oppressed by wearing decently or covering up and stuff like that. But the thing is, I don't think there's any Muslim woman who is forced to dress with her hijab. Because it has to be a belief that I'm doing this out of a belief I have in, and I'm doing it because I want to please Allah, and this is what my religion dictates. And when they say that we are wearing, like oppression is, we are wearing like this, we are oppressed. For me, I believe oppression is where you're using the woman as an advertisement. Because if you're advertising a car, why do you need a naked woman next to the car? Isn't that what is oppression? And isn't that what we need to be getting out of? Because I don't see what a naked woman or a half-dressed woman has to do with a car that you're advertising. And let's be very realistic. Look at any advert, billboard. You'll see, if they really want to sell it, they must put a woman who is half-dressed. So for me, that is oppression. They need to now empower this woman to dress well and still do that advert if you really want to empower a woman. But undressing this woman for me is oppression.
Have you ever faced any discriminatory out of your choice of putting on hijab as a Muslim?
Yeah, we've had experiences, good ones and bad ones. I remember the first time I was in Machakos and I got into the board of the school board. So the first board meeting I went to, they talked and talked. Being new, of course, I didn't say much. I was trying to learn what it was all about. So at the end of the meeting, one of the guys told the headmaster that, why don't you tell this lady all what you've been talking about later on in Kiswahili so that she's together with us. Wow. So the assumption was, so long as I'm in hijab, I'm illiterate. So that's the perception that people seem to have. Two, like you enter any place where there's this security check, we tend to get checked more. But what I always do is when I get there, I make a point of greeting this person and telling them, by the way, anything Nafanya, this checking, it's very important for our own security, my security and your security and for our security. So I don't go there already with a defense that I'm feeling already irritated by that. No. I show them that I'm very willing to have myself checked, and I'm even the one now like, okay,
and you're supporting it. Like,
yes, and what more do you want to check? So also our attitudes. If you go there already defensive, this other person will also get more defensive. But if you go there and you are open and you're less defensive, then you're able to negotiate it well.
The offense will...
Like you also don't start getting that offended. Like they are checking on me more because I know I'm in hijab. So I show them willing, even more willing to check you. What else did you want to check? You know, like you sort of relax. Don't go and start getting stiff because they are stiff. Then the other thing I've noticed, I've had men telling us that I like the way you people dress. Maybe they not have the guts to go and tell their women, but I think in a way they also like it. But maybe they don't know how to put it across to their ladies. Because I usually say, even as a man, as much as they are visual beings, but I think they want something that has some mystery into it. They don't want it all.
Yeah, the common phrase is that just leaves little to the imagination. We like to imagine it.
Yeah, I think they want to go on with their imagination. So we should also give them that chance to be left with that mystery.
Yeah, I think I've also had lots of that from non-Muslim men, that they love the way Muslim women dress. Sister Asha, some of the experiences you've experienced in hijab.
Okay, some of the challenges I faced, one of them is that there's a day we went to this school. It was a British school, and they restricted me from entering it because I was in a hijab. They told me if I want to enter, I need to remove my scarf and things of the sort, not to appear like a Muslim. So I had to refuse, you know. I don't like people who I don't like to compromise with my deen. Alafu, there's a time also in the market, I went shopping, then there was these guys who were calling me Samantha. Like, they called me Samantha, and then I was like, can they see I'm black, I'm not white? Samantha is a white widow, and as usual, they've been calling us Al-Shabaab. Wherever you go and you're in a full hijab, you're called Al-Shabaab. You are called all sorts of bad names, but let me assure you that Islam is a peaceful religion. We are not Al-Shabaabs, we are not terrorists, we are good people. Just try us and see for yourselves.
Those are all misconception, I guess. Misconception, I guess. As a matter of fact, I tend to believe hijab is more beautiful. It makes you look at the woman like judge her from her thoughts, not from her body, not from her looks, but the way she's thinking and the way she can solve, the ability she has to solve complex issues and stuff. Is it? Anyway, final words.
An object. My final word is a woman is not an object. She's a person. And the minute we start having them dressing naked, we are treating them like objects. Like we want you to be like this, we are just an object. And I think Islam has now made us be more respectable. And Islam has given a woman a lot of value.
Has liberated the Muslims.
Liberated the woman and given her lots of value, because as a woman, as a mother, I know that Jannah lies under my feet. My children have to be very nice to me and they want this Jannah. My husband, my parents. And as a woman, I think Islam is the only religion that gives you a bodyguard.
Brilliant.
Because if I come to the airport and I'm a dignitary, the first thing they'll be asking is security. And we have that. But a Muslim woman is always told, anytime you're going for this kind of distance, you must have a bodyguard. So I think Islam is the only religion that has actually given the woman whatever she really needs. And I think people need to study Islam more and interact with Muslims to try and understand exactly what is this Islam and what are the meanings behind some of these things. I've come to realize that the people don't really know what is actually behind some of these moves, because they'll tell you, why does a Muslim woman need to have somebody beside her for her to do anything, to travel and stuff like that? So I asked them, with these high rape cases we are having, if that woman had somebody with her, would she have been raped?
Brilliant. Leave alone that one, even the situation which happened in town. If that lady had somebody,
mahram with her or somebody else with her there, would that have happened? So
Obviously
I think
not.
Islam is a religion that takes into account every aspect. So they need to study this religion, and maybe we also need to go out there and explain this, what is behind having a woman accompanied, or what is behind this hijab, what's the hikmah behind it all. It's not just a rule that has nothing behind it. It has some hikmah. What do I call hikmah in English? It has some wisdom in it. So they need to find out, or we need to sit down and maybe have a chat and sort of show them what this is all about. And then maybe that way they will be having an idea, oh, okay, so Islam has actually protected us, kabisa. We are not leaving any loopholes for a Muslim woman to go through what happened to this other woman.
Brilliant. Asha, final word.
I will appeal to the ladies to observe the hijab. Yeah? And for our mothers to take good care of us, the ladies, sana, because there's this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ which says that if you take good care of two girls, you bring them up correctly until they reach the age of puberty, and then you marry them off, you'll be granted Jannah. Okay? So, Mimi now appeal our mothers and the mothers of tomorrow and the ladies in general to observe hijab, to respect wenyewe, because I love we should stop aping the Western countries, because saizi nikiangalia hijab inadidimia, buibui zinaendelea, mavazi zetu zimeanza ku lose its meaning completely, zimekuja kwa unaona penye hijab inafaa kuwa, the dressing of nowadays zimekuja zikakuwa just the opposite of that, of which is not right. For us to be safe na tuishi poa kwa hii dunia, tunafaa kuishi kama travelers. You know, makao yetu ni huko mbele inshallah, kwa sababu sisi tunasafiri. Alafu we should adhere to the teachings of the Prophet. We should be steadfast in our duties as Muslims. Now, I'm very sure by that, even though there are tests and mitihani is all over, tutakonka.
Kara,
Final word?
Michelle.
Very short. I think I'll actually look right to the camera and tell men, behave yourselves. Don't abuse our women, whether they are covered fully or they're dressed badly, scantily. Women, it may be your dress and your choice, but try and dress wisely. I mean, we have examples here. I don't want to come on too strong, but just try and dress a bit wisely. Beware of your surroundings, and take a look at the Islamic dress code, whether not just the physical, but the entire what it offers, and see whether you like that.
MashaAllah. Brilliant. You've had it for yourself. What a debate. What a day. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, we started with the undressing of the lady. Personally, I don't think it's right. Despite the fact that the lady did not dress appropriately, doesn't mean that you should undress her. Two wrongs doesn't make a right, does it? Anyway, back to the ladies again. The ones who went to the streets and demonstrated. By the act of you going out and demonstrate with micro miniskirts, what message are you trying to pass to the teenagers? What are you trying to show them? What are you trying to telling them? Is that really the wisest thing to do? Sisters, your hijab. More have been said. I don't want to add anything about it. Keep the conversation going. Facebook.com/UmmahKenya is our Facebook page. @ummah.co.ke is our Twitter handle, and ummah.co.ke is our website. I have been your brother, Faisal Qasim. Till next time, Masalam.
For more amazing content, visit ummah.co.ke and follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube.